of all, a very good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm really very excited. I know I'm like the seventh speaker from morning who is saying the same thing, like they're excited, but no, I am really excited. I am very excited here. I'm excited for the team who has put up such a great event. Can we have a round of applause for the team behind this event, guys? Yes, they deserve a good round of applause. Okay, I'll introduce myself. My name is Vikash Paul. I'm a chartered accountant by profession and a stand-up comedian by passion. And I was very excited when I got this invite for a TEDx speech. I was really very excited. I went to my dad and I told Dad, I've got invited for a TEDx speech. He's like, what? I'm like, Dad, TEDx speech. TEDx is like a TED Talk. He's like, what? TikTok. I'm like, no, Dad. It's not TikTok. It's actually a TED Talk. It's actually a motivational video. Like people motivate, they inspire. And when I was telling this to my dad, I actually realized that those TikTok videos are more motivational than TED Talk videos. No, seriously guys, you see those TikTok videos, you see those people in the video and you think, okay, my life is better. I was recently invited in a forum, okay, where we had to go and speak. And I saw in that forum there were like other speakers, they were like scientists, they were like innovators, and then there were entrepreneurs, and then there was a stand-up comedian, like me. Like I was like, how are people going to take me seriously? Like we joke around for a living, okay, and it's quite ironical that people have to take us seriously. What I did in that event, I went there, I shared my story, and I got the biggest round of applause and the best feedback from the audience. Because my story was the most relatable. Like when you see successful people coming and sharing their stories, and I see that people are like doing every right choices, right decision in their life, I'm like, okay, this is not relatable to me. I want to hear stories where people have screwed up, where people have made wrong choices, they have made ordinary decision making, and I see that story, I'm like, okay, that's totally me. That's very relatable to me. I want to hear stories like that. My story is like that. It's a very ordinary story with very wrong choices, with very ordinary decision making. So now since I've successfully lowered the expectations around me, shall we go ahead with my story? Shall we? Yes? Yes? Okay, so the first life choice which we have to make is in the school. Remember when you pass out your high school and then the first choice that you have to make is choose between science or commerce. Your life's biggest decision, right? The teachers will make you look like, oh my God, your whole life is dependent on this. And I'm like, really now I understand it doesn't make any sense. You know, in my school, I was like a very introverted kid, like a very shy kid. Like I used to fear public speaking. I never took participation in any debate, jamming or elocution session. I was very scared of stage. But I was academically very good. So because of that, I got into science stream. Yes, 10 years back it was like that, right? If you get good marks, you'll get science. If you don't get good marks, you'll get commerce. It was not about your interest and all, okay? Nothing about interest. So I got into science. All my friends got left behind in commerce because they didn't get good marks, because they were enjoying their life. I had a huge crush on a girl named Sapna. Name changed for security reasons, so yeah. I had a crush, like she was also left behind in commerce section. And then I was devastated. Like I was in science section, I was in science section. In 1 week I realized I'm in the wrong place. Like I had zero chemistry with chemistry. Physics class, I was physically present, mentally absent. Biology class, let's not go there. No, like I seriously, like next day, I went to my principal's office and I told them, see, I want to change my section from science to commerce. He was like, oh, is it because of that girl Sapna? Like my teachers started accusing me, it's because of that girl Sapna. Even my friends started teasing me, it's because of that girl Sapna. Even my parents started scolding me, it's because of that girl Sapna. Like everybody thought so, except Sapna. She did not think. And I don't blame Sapna, because in my school days I used to look like this. Yes, I know, hashtag nerd alert. I know this. I had the looks which could kill, right? Like if I would have proposed Sapna, she would have killed me. You know, but no, but what I did, like when I passed out of, when I got into the commerce section, I thought like, if you have a look like this, and you're a very studious student, you know only one thing, that you can impress girls by getting good marks. And then I studied hard. I topped my commerce stream. I was in the top. I topped my school in class 12th exams, only to realize that girls don't get impressed by that. But thanks to Sapna, that I came top in my commerce section because I wanted to impress her. And then I had two options again. In my second, the life choice, the second biggest choice I had to make, which college. So I had SRCC Delhi, which is the best commerce college in the country, or stay at my home. My home is in Calcutta. Stay there and do from Xavier's. So I had a decision to make whether I should leave my comfort zone, go to a different city altogether just out of school. Should I be making that decision? But again, there was society pressure. There was parents pressure, teacher pressure. Again, not a choice which I made. First, in my school science commerce choice, I made because of Sapna. Here I made choice because of society's pressure. Again, not really my choice. But I moved to the Delhi. I went to that college. It was very good campus, just like yours. Great faculty. No, come on guys, I have to say this because I'm right now in your college, so okay. No, Delhi University College was very fun. Like it was great faculty, great teachers, everything was fun. And then when we were about to pass your graduation college, you had to make your second biggest, next biggest life choice, right? What post-graduation course to take? And that time we had only two popular options available for commerce student. It was CA or MBA. Right? CA had those stereotypes, like CAs are like very bookish, nerdy, boring, studious kind of people. I'm like, oh yes, that's exactly me. I perfectly fit into that. And then MBAs always had that cool tag, right? They are like very cool tag. They get all the recognition, they get all the girls' attention and all. CA people don't get any attention. They are like the mechanical engineering of the engineers. They are like single for life. Like I remember when people go to MBA students, they'll be like, oh, you're an MBA. Oh, how many girlfriends? To CA people, they'll ask, oh, you're a CA. How many attempts? To engineer students, they'll go, oh, you're a mechanical engineer. How many arrears? That was a stereotype. Like, but okay, I actually didn't take MBA because I was very scared of GD, group discussions and interview. I'm actually very scared of those things. Right from my school, I had the stage fright. Fear of public speaking. So I never went to that course. I thought CA is the best. Like you're good in studies and you have poor communication skills, you can do CA. So I went in to do CA. I did well. I got all India rank in the second level, and then also I passed. Yes, thank you so much. I also passed my final exams, and then the life's next biggest choice he had to make about the job. And this time, I had only one option. Because I just gave in my life one job interview and I never gave any interview because I was very scared. And this time I had only one option, really, like I couldn't make even a choice, like it was just one option. But the biggest decision was whether to move to Chennai from Delhi. Like Delhi is like extreme north, Chennai is like pure south. Like it was so big difference in the culture, right? But I think so that has to be the biggest thing which has happened to me in my life. I moved to Chennai. It was a great place. Like I was in a circle which was very healthy. Like we had people from different culture, from different background, from different regions in the country, and people coming together, and they were like very open-minded people, and during that time there was a lot of discussions going on, very important topics like gender equality, women empowerment, LGBT rights, the whole debate around national language, which there's nothing called national language, and that whole debate was happening around. And I was into that, like it always happens, right? If a person who moves from other part of the country to south, they always have that preconceived notions, right? So when I met these people, I had to question my biases, my prejudices, my whole opinion I had about the South India. So when I met these people, when I had interacted with them, it was a total makeover of my opinions and my judgments. Like I was far more inclusive, far more accepting of the differences, and I was evolved into a far better human being. And much credit goes to this city, Chennai, which I love to call not my second home, but my first home. And also, yes. And also this is very special, Chennai is very special to me because this is where I got my first job And I first job where I got my first stage time to do stand-up comedy. Yes, I was in a corporate life. I joined a company, Crystal in Chennai. I was in fifth year, and everything was going fine. You know, then certainly in the fifth year of corporate job, I certainly was getting into addiction. No, I'm not talking about like smoking, alcohol, or drugs. There's something worse than that. It's about you getting addicted to your monthly salary, the monthly paycheck. You know that every month the salary will come. You get into your routine life. It kills all your creativity, all your zeal, and you don't have any enthusiasm. You're like, okay, things are happening, let it happen. But certainly in that time, I got my first opportunity to do stand-up comedy. We had an annual event in our company, and my friends, my colleagues told me, hey, you do a lot of jokes, you crack jokes on your bosses and all, like how you people crack jokes on teachers and professors, right? So we do on bosses. So they'll be like, you please crack these jokes. Then certainly I was like, no, I'm very scared of stage. But then I thought, till how long will I continue this? Right from my school, from my college, from my CA days, I've had this fear. And right now I have this opportunity. I should get on stage and overcome my fear, right? Like you always, have you guys seen the Three Idiot movie, right? It was also came in Tamil, right? Remember there will be one dialogue where the actor will say that 70 years down the line you'll be lying in a hospital bed and you'll be thinking, what if I would have taken that one decision different in my life that time? My whole entire last 70 years of life would have been different, right? And this was that decision for me. I was like, no, I have to get on stage. I have to go get over this fear of getting on stage. So I got on stage. I did all inside jokes on my bosses and on all the companies and all. It was a very killer show. Like I destroyed the room. I got so excited. I came back home. I took that video and uploaded on YouTube. In 1 month, I don't want to brag. In 1 month, I got 91 views. In that 90 was by me only. One view was by my boss. Check, yeah, it's come back. I think so my boss is here, he's trying to disconnect my mic. No, I like that one view was by my boss and he was like, okay, before I went up and performed on stage, he was like, stand-up comedy, passion, art, follow your dreams. After my seeing my performance and views on video, he was like, stand-up comedy, passion, art, in your dreams. Like, he's like, please don't. He was convinced that I'm not going to leave this job, but I became very serious. I got on stage. That whole feeling of getting on stage and then people laughing at your jokes was of different level. It gives that adrenaline rush you have, that kick which you get. So I knew I have to do this. So I enrolled myself into a professional open mic. I did my first open mic and then I did professional shows. And then there has been no looking back. Now, right now I've done like more than 200 shows in most of the major cities in the country, for most of the major corporates like Amazon, Flipkart, and all of the Barclays, like a lot of other institutions and companies, and also performed shared stage with all the big comics in the country. Like stand-up comedy has to be like one of the best things which has happened to me in my life. Like every time I get on stage, it's very liberating. Like every time I get on stage and it's like you have the full control. Like you are the director, you are the actor, you are the screenplay, you are the writer. Like you are writing jokes and if the jokes don't work, if the people don't laugh, then you are the villain. So my point to you guys is that I found my love, stand-up comedy, and that is what I want to tell you guys. Like find what you love doing, find your passion. And I know it's easier said than done. For some people it happens like earlier in life, some people it takes time. For me it took so much. Like just imagine, I took science, then moved to commerce because of Sapna only, but it's fine. I moved to commerce, then I did CA, then I did job for 5 years. So it took me more than 10 years after school to realize what my passion is, doing stand-up comedy. So it's never very late. Like when you find your passion, give your 100%. Like give all what you have got. Like, and at this point I would like to say the point is, it's okay to not make right choices at first. Like I didn't make my right choices at first. Like I did my CA and then my job and then finally I found my stand-up. So it is fine to not make right choices at first. Nobody can make right choices at first. That is called life. You will make ordinary choices, you will make mistakes. But what you have to do is learn from those mistakes and learn that experience. And then when you get the opportunity to shine, you have to shine. You have to use that skill set what you have acquired. Like for example, if I take any of the experiences what I had in my different stages of life, if I take any of the subset, the equation won't fall. Like I won't be standing here and speaking to you guys. Like it is the sum effect of all the stages in life, right? I learned in every stage. For example, the first In school, I got to know what are my areas of improvement, right? Like I had stage fright, I could not speak to public, and I was like, I had to overcome. So I knew where my weaknesses are. That was the first stage. Then I moved to Delhi, where I learned the life skills, the basic life skills which everyone should know to stay independent. Learn the basic life skills like cooking and settling in a different city, which helped me a lot when I moved to Chennai and I was comfortable from the first day itself. And next was when I did my CA internship where we learned how to handle the pressure. There was like short deadlines and all, and there was a very hectic schedule for 3 years, which is helping me a lot right now when I'm doing stand-up comedy and we have to meet projects and we have to do write for shows and other things in a very short deadline. And then the next phase of my life, when I moved to Chennai, met very lovely people. It was a very healthy circle, which changed my entire viewpoint. Like I had a complete makeover of my opinions and my judgments, which I use a lot when I do my stand-up comedy today. And finally, my job, which gave me my first stage time. If I was not in that company, if I would not have taken that option of joining Crystal in Chennai, I would have never got my first stage time. And because of all these things happening in my life and me giving best in every stage is what I'm able to do right now is do stand-up comedy. And that's how I found my calling in stand-up comedy. At this point, I would like to say, like, yes, thank you guys. My point is, we'll be making wrong choices, we'll be making wrong decision making. But what you have put yourself into, what you have in front of you, you need to give your best. When people say that I'm in a wrong place or this time I'm in a wrong time, it's not wrong time. Like you have to give your best. What you have in front of you, you have to learn that skill because you never know how will that come to use in a later part of your life. So more than the choices we make, because it may be right, it may be wrong, it may be influenced by several external factors, it may be impacted by several pressures from society and parents. More than the choices we make, it's what we make out of those choices that defines us. So make your choice, take chances, do mistakes, learn from it, but then rise up again and shine when your opportunity comes. Thank you guys, that's been my time. My name is Vikash Paul.